I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm backed up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car cards to get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Switch that V6 for the EV, ride around my city. You should come ride with me, yeah. Feel me if you hear me sip water like a fish, sip box water to the gillies, yeah. This a new wave, this a takeover. Do it for the future, time to get a world a makeover. Time never stops, no the timing is not. Time to clean up the block. Streets been a mess, how can I breathe? Smoke in the air, pure gasoline. I see the news, see what you read. Change gotta come, put that on me and watch me educate. Yeah, we been, could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate, we need change now. We need solar, we need EV in the game now. Make it changes so the earth we know can stay around. Make it changes cause we had no time for playing around. Let's quit the playing around. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, work as a team. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, we going green. New car goes zoom, but it's quiet. You can hear me come and think I'm lying. If I said I'm perfect, I'd be lying. I can't say I'm perfect, but I'm trying. I'ma give my all till I'm dying. I'm the new Captain Planet, here to make changes, not damage. World on my shoulders while I'm standing. I'm the new Captain Planet, here to make changes, not damage. World on my shoulders while I'm standing. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, work as a team. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, we going green. I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car to get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up.
Oh, we're finally doing this, are we? Because I was going to make a sandwich.
And I think he did it to your boy from New York. To say like he did kind of something similar. It was like very
you talk about
right at the beginning of the game though.
He's gonna be live while we're live right
Yeah.
now. We're live right now.
Right now.
Yo,
we're like, what's going on, people? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Oh shit! Mute him.
What is going on here, man? We're already getting surprises tonight. This is great, guys. Welcome to the next podcast. Yo, we're gonna have an insane show tonight, just because somehow, some way, the Activision Blizzard kind of like court case trial thing. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Now, I remember when the Sony lawyers decided that when they were going to redact their documents, use the wrong marker, and we got some information about PlayStation. You guys remember that, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now Microsoft is like, oh, you think that was good? Hold my beer, all right? Because they just went all in. But guys, it's going to be a great show. We got to get into the intros. I'm going to try to get into this quickly, and for some rhyme or reason, unless let me check this first before. Because I'll get hung if I'm wrong. Yes, I would have been wrong. We are moving on to the intros. Let's go first. Let's go to the West Coast. Let's bring them in. Guys, I would like to welcome the head of the PCC. That is the Pony Crisis Council. It is my brother, Dark Optimus. Dark, man, a lot of your brethren out there, they seem to be a little salty, a little angry, a little aggressive, man. It's crazy out there in these gaming streets right now. But how are you doing, man?
Yeah, most of the time you sound like that as well, though, Bot.
What are you talking about? I don't. Where's that?
You complain about everything. Get out of here.
I do not.
Get out of here. You talk shit about everything. Get out of here.
Party Animals is a fire game, by the way. See, I said something nice.
Nah. See, yeah, you said something nice. That's good. He's learning, folks. But yeah, man, exactly baby steps. Unintended, maybe. Maybe. But what's up, everyone? Happy to be here, dude. You know, as always, let's get into the show.
It's gonna be crazy, man. So much information. I can't wait.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, let's go next on the list. Let's bring in the man that believes the next iteration of the Xbox should definitely have that Atari wood trim, man, to really set it off in your entertainment system. Of course, it is Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man, what's going on, brother?
Wood trim would be hot with the original red button and the stick.
Oh,
that's all you need.
Let's go. K Mega would like that if that button was marked A. By the way, I was just saying.
Oh, we can mark it A for him. We get Xbox Pope to get him a custom controller.
I'm gonna have to reach out to my brother, man. We're gonna have to talk some things, man. How are you doing, bro? What's going on?
I'm all right, just surviving life the best I can, man. You know what I'm saying.
I hear
just
you.
Here to talk about the topics of the week, man. That's all. And I did see the Tokyo Game Show about 4 a.m. So,
you know, I watched some. I actually went in for overtime for work today. I worked a half a day, and so I woke up at I get up at 5:15 or something like that.
It was pretty good. It was actually.
I was watching some of it, man. I was definitely, it's definitely a different, every year when you, because I've checked it afterwards.
Our buddy K Mega did a whole show on it. I thought it was a magnificent thing today that he did. It was awesome.
Did you say magnificent? Did you just?
Yeah, he did a pretty good a recap of the show, man.
Don't put that words like that next to K Mega's name. Don't do that because that shiny dome gonna start growing.
Now his head's even bigger than what it actually is now.
Hey, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. He did a good representation of the show for
Is that really credit? I mean, that's more like credit, just stroking his ego.
If he's
really
giving credit, then I'd like to borrow $20.
You got a super chat down there while you talking.
Shout out to Face 23 Brooklyn getting in on the super chats early. Yes, guys, it does indeed work. He says, let's say PS5 Pro is real and comes. I believe it's real. First off, don't dude. We've seen so much. It's like when people were talking about the kind of less powerful introductory next Xbox, and people said no, dude, no, the Pro is real. All right, so comes out next year when GTA 6 comes out. It's going to be a real bad look. Dude, it won't be a bad look because it's supposed to be more powerful anyway. If it's 60 FPS on PS5 Pro and 30 FPS on the Series X, since now that we know Xbox ain't making a Pro console, dude, I'm in the boat of we don't need a mid-gen refresh, kind of more powerful console. We needed it last gen with the Jaguar cores, but please tell me why. Why would Xbox need it? PlayStation, I think they might have felt a little insecure about not necessarily having that native 4K so much when it comes to multiplats, and it was all that, that upscaling and stuff. That's how, that 4K 60 for PS5, that's how it's done the majority of the time. And I think they got a little insecure about that, and they decided, we gotta put our money down and make a more powerful PlayStation. That's what I think happened. But shout out to you,
which I think is ridiculous, though. I don't understand. I understand why they're doing it because they want more money. But come on,
and again, they're hardware. They want to sell that hardware.
Intro.
What happened? I got you, man. Yo, let me run the show. I got this, bro. I got this. If I need you to grab the reins, I'll hand them right over, brother. Trust me.
Lord.
Next on the list, man, coming live from the 405, and I hope that mic is all set. It is my brother, K Mega. Yo, Mega, what's going on, man?
Oh God, what the hell was that?
But he's the president or something?
Something going on, man.
Get out of here.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate Sir X-Man talking about having an excellent show. It is great. You know what I'm saying?
Magnificent, sir.
Magnificent. Magnificent.
Wow.
It was
Why'd
great.
you do that, man?
That's
great.
almost close to succulent.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, the show was succulent and juicy.
Succulent.
Anyway, yeah. No, man. Here, man. Yeah. Let's get ready to do it. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into it. We'll talk about it tonight, but we're going to talk about some super cute thuggery with Pal World. I'm with it. So we about to do that, man. Let's go.
Nice, brother. Let's see. Next on the list, coming from the Lone Star State, and guys, I should have went live as soon as I opened up like the Discord chat, because when he came in with his nose in the air, proud, playing all types of music and stuff. It's Predator. Pred, what's going on, man?
Really disappointed right now. I found out Trayvon Diggs is out for the season.
You gonna cry?
That would be disappointing. Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
You gonna cry? Come on, cry for a second.
I'm not gonna cry. We still got Michael Parsons, so don't fall asleep.
That dude's a freak of nature.
He can play quarterback.
That back end is wide open, Paul.
2 seconds. 2 seconds to go from the end to the middle of the line and down the quarterback. 2 seconds for that guy. Yo, what?
I need like an extra half second just to kind of get those interceptions. But I mean, it's whatever. Shit happens. You got injuries that happen. We got other defensive backs out there. We got a good defense regardless. But I'm gonna be sad that Trayvon Diggs is not back there because he's like an interception guy back there. So it's all good. He locks down half the field. So
it's just the start, Pred. You already know the drill, man. The closer you get to the playoffs, brother.
I feel better if it's like maybe like 4 games, but it's the whole fucking season. So
yeah. So
we're fucked. So on that side of the field for now.
I wouldn't say fucked, man. I wouldn't say that when dude, you got a lot more upside than downside.
You're not fucked like the Giants are.
We're just 1 or 2 injuries away from
Dark,
defense.
there was no need for that, Dark. Dark, there was no fucking need for that, bro. Like, I'm being nice.
Just like the Giants.
Being nice about Dallas and everything, and you got to come in. Oh, the fucking Giants, bro.
Is that man still getting paid while he's injured?
Hey, I was gonna talk shit because it took the Giants almost six fucking quarters to score a point, but they got on the board eventually. So, because trust me, I had Twitter ready to rile up on talk shit to your ass, but they ended up scoring points in the second half of that last game. So you're okay.
Yeah, I was spared. All right,
you're okay.
I got you. But guys, we had a huge leak, man. Absolutely huge leak that happened this week. I'm talking like plans up to 2030 when it comes to Xbox. Now, I believe this documentation is, a couple years old. If I want to, it's a couple years old, but it did come out. Unfortunately, it was an uploading error on like Microsoft's part with their lawyers and putting information up in the whole Activision Blizzard case, and mistakes happened, and all of a sudden, like, at least at one point in time, their plans for the future was just completely blasted on the internet, and it's crazy to see some of the stuff, man. First off, I want to talk about the general reaction, and then I want to talk about games, hardware, acquisitions. I want to break it down that way, yo. So with the first thing, all right, I noticed. First off, internet went nuts. I gotta ask you guys, man, like, Xbox, some crazy things. They have gone through some crazy shit. Going from into last generation, all the way through last generation into this generation. Any time that it looked like there was an upside and stuff like that, it something somehow, some way, kind of dug into that. I think we can all agree to that. Like, it was weird, man. It was like somebody had like a Phil Spencer voodoo doll, and he just kept poking it right in the wallet, like right where the wallet was, to get little jabs or whatnot. But this is crazy. I gotta ask you guys, in terms of the information and stuff, like, what was your reaction when you started seeing this on social media, and then realized it was legitimate, And let me start with K Mega. I don't usually do that off the beginning of the show, man. Let me start with K Mega on this. I want to know general reaction. I think everybody kind of knows what was done, and we'll go into detail about some of the things that was definitely shared. Dude, what? Like, I didn't think it was true. I thought somebody was messing around at first, and it kind of like it was a joke that kind of caught wind or something. But no, This was absolutely insane. What were your thoughts when you first started seeing all this, man?
The first thing I thought when I first seen this was basically like, yo, somebody's fired. I just knew somebody was done. I'm like, somebody lost their job. They're finito, their curtains, they're out of here, because that is not supposed to be out. And then you go in and you find out a little bit deeper about, who's at fault. But I never had one time thought it was Sony behind any of it. I did see some people out here who was trying to use Sony as a scapegoat. I knew it wasn't Sony. It was either Microsoft or it was going to be the courts. I thought personally it was probably the FTC trying to make one last ditch effort to try to change something within the CMA decision next week. That's what I initially thought. The first thing was like, oh, somebody's ass is cooked. They're done. And then the next thing was like, could this been the FTC? But then we found out who was at fault with it. And pretty much it was somebody from Microsoft not doing what they were supposed to be doing because they didn't know. And then the court released it, and my bad. So the question here comes to is that, for the ABK deal, did Microsoft officially risk it all? Because now we know damn near all. You know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, no, when I was going through some of this stuff, I was just like, no, because the first thing I seen was the games that were listed.
That's the first thing we're gonna go into detail about too, because I think that's the most
I'm
interesting.
not going to talk about it yet. I'm not going to say I don't know because you just said just what our initial thoughts were, but. When I saw that, I was like, no, that ain't right. That ain't right. And then when I read a little bit more into the stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, this is nuts. And I can come away feeling this way. If you're an Xbox fan, you should be really, really excited.
Yo, word.
Because Xbox is all in. Microsoft is all in behind Xbox. That's something that we have not heard officially except for when the 360 was out. And for anybody that was questioning about Phil Spencer and his team, if they had the want to or the desire or if they had the hunger, all that is put to rest. I mean, the court case already, and for the moves that Microsoft has been doing or Xbox has been doing for the last couple of years, that should have already been shut down. But this is officially letting you know Phil Spencer, before he hangs it up, he wants that top spot. He's not going to rest until he get what he wants, and he's willing to do whatever it takes, even throwing some propositions that I was like, you got it. Are you kidding me? Microsoft? You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty crazy. So yeah, no, I was thinking, like I said, somebody was getting fired for sure. And then which somebody probably already packed up their box and is gone, been escorted out by security. And then, just in disbelief and just saying like, yo, Microsoft has been feeding a lot of content creators for 2023 because they are constantly in the news. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like anytime you turn around, this year has been insane when it comes to news. Like you look at the court case, you look at shadow drops on Game Pass, the release of a new IP from Bethesda in how many years? You know what I'm saying? It's just, It's been an insane year already, man. And this is like, we're going to go out like a rocket, into next year, man. It's insane. But, let's get Dark in on this. Now, Dark, again, it was crazy to me. And when it comes down to it, a lot of people are talking doom from the details, like, oh, all this got leaked out and I don't necessarily look at it as a bad thing, in my opinion. There was a lot of stuff in there I liked, and I know we'll go into details, but your general thoughts, man, when you saw this information coming out, like, dude, were you shocked? Did you kind of like, did your day stop real quick? Like, what is going on here?
You were right about one thing. Xbox is going out, right? It's going out. Lights are out, baby. Lights are out. No.
2027, right?
2024 is it's done.
Oh, damn. They're not not even going to give Game Pass that chance. They're like, no, 2020.
No, absolutely not. No, no, they'll be fine. They'll be good. They're good. They're good for they're future proof for a while. So, but that's the thing. When I saw this later on in the afternoon, so I didn't really like dive too far into it because people were already like, you know, going crazy. You know, as soon as I saw it, I thought to myself, I wonder what the ponies are saying right now. So I went to YouTube and I went to Twitter to see what they were saying and stuff and how bad this is and all that stuff. And I was just like, okay, all right. I always like to see what the other side thinks, right?
Yeah.
And then I looked at some of your guys' tweets too. You know, like K Mega's and your tweet, and then I think even a couple of the Xbox guys were on there that were talking, and I was just like, okay, you know, like it didn't faze me at all. It didn't surprise me. I mean, they're a business, you know, they're gonna do business stuff. They're gonna do things. So you know, it didn't surprise me, but I did think to myself, yeah, somebody probably fucked up somewhere. Right? like I was just like, somebody might have just leaked something that they didn't want to leak. Because there was a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff.
Dude, this trial is the gift that keeps on giving. Like we already kind of figured like the outcome way early on. So anything that's come off of this extra, like really, it is the gift that just keeps on giving, man. It's crazy.
It's been a wild ride, that's for sure. But yeah, I think they. You know, I think that some people are blowing it out of proportion. I think some people are, you know, taking it a little too hard in terms of like, you know, well, you know, Microsoft can't do that. Microsoft can't do that. You know, it's like you know how many people I saw. You know how many people I saw saying that shit. I was just like, oh man, you guys are just like. You either want Microsoft to thrive or you want them to fail. Clearly, most of these people want them to fail. The people that I see that are, you know, the diehard ponies, the diehard, you know, PlayStation fanboys, they want Xbox to fail. They don't want Xbox to be around.
Well, dude, you never know, because according to MBG, the only way to make a platform on YouTube and then to have it grow is to talk shit about Sony all the time, and somehow, some way, he says that automatically those Xbox channels grow if you talk about Sony and PlayStation fanboys and you tear them down.
What's growing right now is making fun of every single one of them.
That is true. It's just seems like that camp has a few more clown noses in it with it go honk honk honk.
Oh,
honk, like.
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I will agree with you on that for sure. That's why I don't interact with a lot of them, you know, because it's just, what's the point? They're just delusional, right? So, yeah, man, I wasn't surprised by it, but I dove in deeper with it, you know, when I was like, just after I started watching the videos and stuff, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting, you know. Some of the stuff that was on there was interesting, so I'm excited to get more into it.
Nice.
when we talk about it more.
Nice, yeah, definitely. Now, let's go to Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man, I don't know what you were doing today or what was going on, but dude, you have to check social media and stuff at some point in time. And what happened when you started seeing this information? Like, what were your thoughts? What was your initial reaction when you saw like all this information is coming out, and it just seems to be a roadmap into years when it comes to Xbox, man?
Oh, I learned about it watching Fox News, but
dang!
Dude,
Damn!
Did they pay you for a promotion or something? Like, yo. Shout out to Fox News. Like, I don't...
No shout out to Fox News. I was making a joke.
Hey, you sounded really genuine on that one, man. I don't know. Yo, K-Mag, we might need to check his cable. You know what I'm saying? See what he was watching.
No, but on the real, people are not seeing the bigger picture. Microsoft made this plan out in around 2021. They had this in the works for their future. And it was supposed to go all the way up to 2030.
Yes.
Microsoft is a very patient company. They look way, way ahead for things that they want to do. Unlike certain competition, I won't say or give their blue stripes, but the other side looks narrowly, looks at the short term, maybe 2-3 years down the line. This is almost 9 years of thinking ahead. And they had to readjust everything because of the Activision deal. So what you need to be scared of is Microsoft planning for the future, showing that they're not going anywhere. That's what people really need to be afraid of.
Oh.
Because a lot of the things that they're planning are big.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I kind of like that newer console. It's cool. It'll match mine. I'm not gonna say the AX name
AL,
because they will go off. But that would be a perfect match right next to that on my entertainment stand. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And the cylinder is not bad at all. It's a nice shape. It's better than a big, giant, tall, white piece of plastic. So, and it is gonna be slightly improved in performance. They did say that on the things on the side that said what this newer system is going to do.
Hey, we're not getting into that stuff right now, dude.
Yeah. I know we're not getting into this stuff. I'm just giving you a thing where Microsoft is trying to
Can somebody capture
I love how he tries to
right
flip
there?
it. He tries to flip it. He's like, I'm not giving you anything. What are you talking about?
I'm not giving you anything.
I'm giving you everything.
I'm just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back because we gotta give Sir X-Man the script.
Did I interrupt anybody today when they were talking? No, I didn't.
No.
I'm being very cordial today.
It's all about baby steps,
out,
bro.
brother.
It's all about
People
baby
need
steps.
to be afraid of how they're planning almost 10 years down the line.
You got me smoking my weed cart earlier. I'm just saying.
But you know what I'm saying? That's what you need to be afraid of, and I think that's what a lot of people don't want to talk about.
I'm afraid of sharks, though.
It is scaring them that they're thinking that far, and they only talked about Bethesda games. Real quick, you can skip me after this one and go to somebody else with the other thing, because I'm getting it all out of my system right now. The Mogwai's on this one.
Oh no,
Mogwai.
The Mogwai. Like, it's French. It's French. No, that's French.
Even King Mega knows how to say that word. Mogwai.
It's the Mogwai.
He's the one that started the Mogwai stuff. It was him.
I did.
You're a French gremlin. You're a French gremlin, yeah.
Or you can just stop talking and let the show go through, and then you can come back to you later.
I'm gonna pull a Knoxximus on you. Oh, Fred, shut your mouth!
Everybody, welcome to a behind-the-scenes look at Next Podcast. It's a very rare and deep look into what goes on before we go live.
What goes on?
No, I'm just being for real. They need to be scared of what Microsoft is planning for the future.
I think
they're not going nowhere, and that's what's scaring the crap out of people. Go ahead, I'm done. I just wanted to get that point out because a lot of people were missing that on their show.
You sound a little angry, sir. You got a little there's a little aggressive tone in your voice, man. I can hear it.
I'm just upset that people are missing the big.
You sound like a disappointed grandpa right now, man. You're like, you got that little.
People are missing the bigger point of the league, Xbox. They are.
Well, all right. Go ahead. Let's get to Pred on this one. Pred, your initial thoughts when you started seeing this. And I know you had some, man. I know you were like, oh shit.
Really?
Really?
I missed a lot of it in the beginning. Because I read through some of it, but none of the stuff that they put out there surprised me. It's stuff that I thought should have happened years ago. And he just said, like, Microsoft's a company. Like, you look back at like how they were trying to do this, the Xbox One. Are we not doing that now? Like all the stuff that they were going to do with the Xbox One when it comes to the digital stuff, are we not doing that now? Like
Yeah.
they literally like mind fuck people into it. And people don't realize like the stuff that Microsoft was going to do with the original Xbox One is what we're doing right now, and we're doing it anyway. And they were so hardcore against it, and Microsoft was like, okay,
we're just gonna wait a few years. You'll be down soon.
And we know where it's going, and we're gonna get you there regardless. And here we are, with the digital content and stuff like that, the way we're doing things. So, like, I mean, Microsoft is a very patient company. They know what their direction is, and they know there's literally someone sitting there saying, okay, let's do this. And someone's saying, we can't do that. And they're saying, why not? Well, because people are going to do this and that. And then they're saying, well, if they do that, then what are our next steps? And so when the industry reboots everything and they're like, oh, we don't want that, Microsoft's like, okay, we got a plan B. We're going to get you there regardless. And it might take some time, but we're going to get you there. And that's exactly what they did.
Dude, they Betty Crockered it. They Betty,
and here we are. And so when I saw some of the leaks, none of that surprised me. Like, I mean, I know we'll go into it in a minute, and I'll get into it when we get there. And like, none of those leaks, none of them surprised me because all moves I would have expected Microsoft to make in the first place. All of them. Like, there was not one. I'll be honest with you. There's not one fucking single move in there. Even the big ones that we're going to talk about, none of them were the ones. None of them were like mind blowing to me because that's what I would do if I was running Microsoft. And I'm sitting thinking like that's the way to go. Yeah. And especially when we start seeing, I'm trying not to go into that topic yet.
Well, Pred, what I'm saying, like, I'm trying to cut in and be like, dude, you're giving me like great segues to get into something, and like I think
has everybody talked already? Am I the last one?
You're the last one. And that's why I was going to bring it to you. The funny thing is, you're like reading my mind right now. It's insane, dude. Because I was going to bring you like first for the next topic. And what I wanted to do, I wanted it to kind of. I apologize, K-Mag. I'm going off script right now, man. I do apologize. You're gonna have to flip over to page 4, all right? And that's where we're gonna continue.
We're gonna go
because I want to go to the acquisitions part first.
I'm gonna tell you something now. When we get like
betrayal,
and I want you to remember that I said this before, and it's gonna come up in this conversation you're about to have with me. And I said this before, and I was talking about the leaks, and I said to you, there's a reason why Nintendo's information was always redacted.
Okay, well, see,
remember that? Do you not remember that?
Yeah. Dude, I do. Let me just lay it out for the chat real quick. Because, like I said, acquisitions. I believe the biggest ones that people are talking about here, because we all know Xbox, when it comes to publishers, developers, they're actively looking. But the biggest things in like emails, Phil Spencer stated that Nintendo is like the key asset, the one that would be the acquisition to go after if ever there was the opportunity to. That's one thing I don't think people are kind of going in really strong on this is if there was ever opportunity, that and Valve as well. I think those are the two big ones there. So, Pred, when it came to these acquisitions, like which ones did you find interesting? What did you think? And when it came down to the Nintendo and kind of like the big kind of like, oh yeah, that's the one to go for and stuff. I don't understand kind of like the outcry or backlash out there from such a thing. Like companies do this all the time, whether or not it's going to be viable or not, but yeah, no, that's the one we would like to get if we can, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand why everybody's kind of going nuts about that, man.
Because it's Nintendo and like, and a lot of people think it wasn't possible or it isn't possible or it hasn't been discussed. And so for the execs to actually say, this is what we want, this is what we want to go after. And, he's been like, buddy with them for a while. And I said this during all the ABK shit. I remember saying like, y'all should be questioning why all Nintendo shit is being redacted.
I remember that, yeah.
Because that is something big. Like, and I don't know if it's a Game Pass thing or something else, but like, I'm looking at that. I remember seeing that, and I remember seeing that and hearing it talked about. And every time they got brought up Nintendo, that part was always not discussed. I'm like, they're hiding something. Something's going on with them. I just don't know what it is yet, but something's going on with Nintendo and Microsoft, and now we know what the fuck it was. And I don't know how deep they got into the conversation topics of Nintendo and Microsoft merging or being bought out and stuff like that. But like when I saw all the redactions and how they were kind of being like, when I listened to the deals, like the ABK, FTC bullshit, whatever, and listen to the court stuff, they they were really like they're holding fucking their cards in their chest on that, and they're like, oh, we can't talk about that. I'm like, something's up with that, because if they're not even willing to discuss it in any length, there's something going on there, and now we know. Now I don't know if that's been like thrown in the trash at this point, but I mean, I always thought that was a good move for them or Sony wanting to pick up Nintendo. It's not like they're not hurting for cash, but for them to come up with some kind of deal with them, I thought it would be a Game Pass type deal. And anytime they talked about the new consoles for Nintendo, that was always kind of not discussed and stuff like that. So,
well, Pred,
go ahead.
Real quick for Nintendo, because this is really interesting, and I want to hear your opinion on this, because when it came down to the emails, it was stated that there was somebody that used to work with Microsoft. They're officially like they're out of the chain, but people inside Microsoft communicate with that person. That person invested in shares in Nintendo, right? Because Phil said one of the biggest things was the shareholders, they weren't screaming for more profit. You know what I'm saying? They were making money. The money was increasing, and they weren't screaming. So somebody loosely connected with Microsoft started buying up shares of Nintendo, so this way they can get a seat in the shareholder meeting. So this way they can start applying pressure for more revenue, for more money. Now I know this happens, when it comes to free market, all that stuff. But dude, I gotta say that's a little shadowy business type ish right there, man.
Well, if you think about some of the acquisitions, like what Crystal Dynamics, where the boss from Crystal Dynamics come from, that's working for Microsoft now. Matt Booty, right? Where did I can't think of his name right now. I used to watch the streams of PUBG, and he went to Activision, right? I'm thinking. Someone tell me who I'm thinking of. I can think of his name right now.
You ain't taking Mike Ibarra, right?
Mike Ibarra, yeah. He went to Activision, and who is Microsoft purchasing?
Activision.
So
yeah, we said that, and we said that with what was it, Rod? Rod Ferguson went over to Blizzard, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, so you start seeing, the signs here where
they planting
people
seeds,
are leaving.
Bro. They planting seeds.
People, basically, yeah. And I think someone just left. Was it Bungie? Or was it somewhere else? Someone just left. I want to say it was a Microsoft. Microsoft.
I'm not up on all the hires and fires and
so someone, I have to look. I'll look it up while everyone else is talking. Someone just left a Microsoft friendly franchise or company and went to work for somewhere else, and it was not a Microsoft friendly franchise they went to. It was a more Sony friendly franchise or company. I'm gonna look it up in a minute. Was it the pin? No. It wasn't the Surface guy, was it? I'm thinking of. I know he left.
Panay just left.
Where did he go?
Dude, where did he go?
Are you talking about the Surface guy?
Oh, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't say. I don't think.
Yeah, he went. I think he's going to Amazon. So
that dude's nasty when it comes to designing hardware. By the way.
Yeah,
he's really
nasty.
Good. That's not the guy I'm thinking. I don't think that's the guy I'm thinking of. But but at some point, and again, this is the industry. You start working in that industry, you're gonna kind of have some play.
I got you, but that's what I consider that kind of like darker gray business right there. You know what I'm saying?
But look at it this way: like if you got somebody that leaves your company, that goes to work for your maybe one of your company, another company that might be in competition with you. Do you not think they have some kind of pull with that person when it comes to making deals? Yes, they do. And so like I see that Microsoft is not necessarily doing it on purpose, but it kind of helps them. You start seating people in positions.
Well, according to the email, they were definitely doing that on purpose. They're like, yeah, keep at that. You know what I'm saying?
We're friends. Like, just go there. Like, I'm not saying they're implanting spies or anything like that into other companies. However, it does kind of look like that when you start seeing they're making acquisitions.
That's slick,
with people
that's slick, man. They
that's how
didn't
you
become
do it,
$1 trillion company by not doing shit like that either.
And with them playing again, like we said, Microsoft's a patient company. So yeah, that motherfucker could work there for 3 years and just feeding information, feeding secrets or whatever. Again, I'm speculating, and then one day, fucking someone sends him an email. Phil's like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" And he's like, "Oh man, this just fucking sucks. Like, buy us." I can see that happening to some degree. Not necessarily like that easy, but we're working on this project, and I think you guys should get involved. Like, they start, trading a little bit of stuff behind the scenes, and things happen. And next thing you know, we're getting Game Pass games from companies we shouldn't be getting them from. So, nothing out of that surprised me. That's just business to me, 101. Like, you put people in positions, or you talk about things, or you have plans for the future that may be really out there, and then you have plans that are actually going to work. And the whole Nintendo thing, if Nintendo was available, because again, Microsoft's not going to talk about stuff that's out there. Like, when you see Microsoft purchase companies in the past, it's not the ones we think they should buy. They're not buying Sega. They're not buying.
I'm disappointed that Sega was lower on their list in the email. I was like, come on, be higher.
I'm really not, because what does Sega have to offer that's gonna make
Golden
them
Axe,
relevant?
Altered Beast,
those are games that are dead. Who's played Altered Beast in the past fucking 10 years? Nobody. All the games you guys put out there. Yeah. Okay, however, most kids now have no fucking idea what the fuck Altered Beast is.
They would if they made a new one. They would know if they made a new one, though.
Yeah, why would they spend money on that, though? They just bought the company. You're not gonna every time Microsoft buys a company, what we do is they bring this game back. That game isn't popular anymore. That game might be good for us when we were fucking gaming it fucking 20 years ago, but
bringing the name Golden Axe back in a new generation game.
Us. That is us as old gamers trying to live off the past.
Get off my lawn, sir. Get off my lawn.
That's just us living off the past. Because, how did Ninja Turtles do when it came out? Look at all the old games they brought back that have been brought back recently in the past, 3 or 4 years. Battletoads, right? It was fun for a minute. But, didn't sell. I'm pretty sure that game didn't sell well. I mean, get out your old history. Right now, Sega, and I'm sure someone will correct me on this, but there's not been a lot of new franchises from Sega that have been very successful overall. You might get some Sonics thrown in there, or some other little smaller, some other titles in there. Someone's going to correct me later and say, yeah, this game did good. There's been some. I'm not going to say exactly there's none at all, but when we talk about purchasing Sega, we're talking about purchasing the IPs from the past. You gotta look at the future, and you gotta look at all of Sega. You can't just look at their gaming division. You gotta look at everything else you're buying with Sega.
I mean, they also
it might not be useful. Persona. It might not be beneficial for them to buy all of Sega Entertainment when really all they want is Sonic. So buy Sonic if that's the case. Or Nier, or whatever. I think Sega did Nier. Am I wrong on that one? Someone correct me later. But
did what?
Nier. Did they do Nier? Or was that?
No, that's Square Enix.
Well, they published Persona though.
Yeah, Persona.
Yeah,
Like they,
yeah. You're
like
talking about Atlas. Oh, yeah, they own
Atlas.
Atlas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, I
They
mean,
could make a Condemned 3, dude. If that would be.
yeah, there's always a game that they could make for
You're
us
proving
that
his
want
point,
it. But
man.
like, how is it gonna make money though? That's the thing. Like, yeah, they can make that game, but like at the end of the day, you're gonna buy a company for one game.
Yeah, I agree
Or
with Fred
4
100%. I agree with
You
Fred
gotta buy.
100%.
They gotta make sure that all those games are gonna be profitable. We're talking about old titles. Like Ultra Beast has been around like 20 years. Who gives a fuck at this point?
Longer than that.
No one. These kids don't know what that game is. You know, like they gotta have something that's current and relevant in this day and age. And so buying Sega, and again, unless it's Sonic, yes, you'll make some money off of that. But like, what they really want is like they want like a Minecraft type situation where they're gonna buy it and it's gonna make profit immediately.
Or
Like, and they're gonna make that money.
Virtual Fighter, that's big. If Sega
No, it's not. It's not big. When's the last Virtual Fighter?
That gets spicy right now, man.
Well, they got. Well, no, I mean, Fred.
Like, no, scratch that shit.
Right. The actual last full Virtual Fighter game came out during the 360 PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
that was Showdown.
It's not relevant to us
And
anymore.
well, it's relevant because they did bring out a remastered, retooled version of Virtual Fighter 5 last year. Yeah, it was last year or the year before. It was 2020 or 2020. Oh, it was 2021 or 2022. But yeah, and it's doing well on PlayStation. But the only reason why people don't talk about it here on Xbox or on Xbox centric channels is because it's exclusive to only PlayStation. It's not even on PC.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I don't see them putting. Again, Sega in our minds would be a big purchase, but you have to think of it from a business standpoint. How are they going to make their money back from that company? What franchises are going to make like put money into to make that money back immediately? It's not like a Minecraft. You know, like Minecraft was just Minecraft, like right. And as much shit as I talk about Minecraft, I have no idea how many people play that game. Minecraft made their money, you know, after they bought it. You know, Activision's going to make their money after they get them. Like Starfield made their money. You know, they made their money back on the investment. I don't know if Sega has a franchise other than Sonic, and even then, it's kind of iffy. To me, it's going to make them the money back that they're going to spend on Sonic. There's some old IPs that could regenerate, but like even with the last deals they've done, have they regenerated those franchises from back then? They have not. So when we see them purchase a company, we got to get out the mindset that they're going to bring back all these other franchises. They're not going to bring them all back. They might bring back one or two, but like the ones that we're going to pick out that we want to see, and maybe we're happy about, maybe we're just like invested in, they're not going to do that. So stop that. Like if they're going to buy Sega, they're going to get it for Sonic and maybe 2 or 3 franchises, and whatever else they got in the stable that we don't know about. And I said that in the past too. Stop worrying about what they had. Worry about what they're going to bring later. And so like with some of the franchises they got, like with you know, with the other company they got when they got Starfield, that was a big get for them because they got Starfield out of it. They're going to get Elder Scrolls.
All right. I hear what you're saying, Pred. I don't necessarily agree. I know K Mega does, but that's the good thing about, you know, having a crew on a podcast. We don't necessarily got to see eye to eye all the time. When it comes down to it, man. Anything about Valve or anything like that before I move on to the next panel member?
No, go ahead. I've talked long enough. I'll let them talk.
All right, brother. So, let's go to Sir X-Man real quick. Now, Sir X-Man, again, we're talking about the acquisitions, or you know, the thoughts and the potential of acquisitions. Phil Spencer email.
Nintendo wouldn't have happened anyway, because the Activision deal would kill that anyway. Nintendo's too big, and then that would become a monopoly. That's not going to happen. I still want Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Interactive, and I want Crytek. That's what they should go after. They're the most reasonable ones to get. You can forget about the WB. It's still too big and would cause too much drama right now.
Actually,
so Crytek WB, with that engine.
No,
actually, WB would probably be the most reasonable right now.
Right, but right now in the situation Microsoft has went through with this Activision deal, Crytek is way too big.
You know, Sir X-Man, I think. Hold on,
real Crytek.
Warner Brothers, you mean?
Warner Brothers is just way too big, dude.
See,
And
I
now
think you're
Nina
close with
Khan is
something,
over
Sir
there.
X-Man.
Nina Khan is over there trying to get Congress to pass a bill that now will drop it down to $100 million for an investigation. You know, trying to get it passed for anything under $100 million. These companies, these other acquisitions Microsoft is looking for, if they go for it, will be over that $100 million threshold. So that's to stop Microsoft from trying to get anything else. So
who's to say she would win that and get that though? Like she could try for whatever she wants to try for. I'm just saying, man.
You never know. Depends on how much.
I see the whole monopoly thing. The whole Sir X-Man, the whole monopoly thing. I think the interesting thing is if you talk about a monopoly, is if you talk about platform holders. I think that would be the only sticky.
That would be Nintendo.
Yeah, it'd be one of the three. It would be one of the three platform holders when it comes to console gaming. So that's 2/3 of, the platforms going under one umbrella. And I think that right there, I think would be would be the issue. But somehow, some way, Phil and them behind closed doors thinks that it would somehow be a possibility. I don't know.
It'll never be Nintendo, dude. It will never be Nintendo.
Yeah, and like
I think even if the Activision deal wasn't around, Nintendo still wouldn't have been on the page. I think Nintendo and Microsoft work well together. A lot of people don't know that, and they might want to just keep it that way. With sharing some IP or things that they have in common. But as far as Nintendo, let them stay where they're at. Don't even touch them.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Let's see. What happened?
Hey, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Let's get Dark in here, man. He's been too quiet for too long. We got to get him. So acquisition wise, I think the two biggest again that they were talking about would be Nintendo and Valve. Very interesting, but again, me personally, I can see it. It's what you do in business. You look at the potentials. Like, yeah, that would be a golden egg right there if we can grab that. Like, I don't understand why everybody's going crazy. But what are your thoughts on it? And do you understand? Do you get it?
I don't understand why people are going crazy because these are emails to his bosses, right? They're emails to the CFO and the CEO of Microsoft. They weren't emails that were sent to other employees. They weren't emails that were sent to Joe Schmo in fucking marketing department. It was nobody like that. It was the CFO and the CEO of Microsoft. So what do you do to keep your bosses happy? You send them an email like that. You send them an email.
You talk grand, bro. You talk huge.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
You talk huge. You talk huge, and you say, hey, listen, I think we can go after this company. I think we can go after this company. I think we can go after this other company. That's what you do. You have to keep them happy because guess what? If they're not happy, they will shut you down in a heartbeat, right? Clear, and there was at one point that was almost a possibility for Xbox to be shut down. Right?
Yeah, it was close, man. I didn't think it was.
It was close.
In reality, it really was. Holy shit.
It was close, but luckily, Daddy Phil came in and was just like, he wrote that ship and reworked it and retooled it and made it better. The thing is that these acquisitions like Nintendo is almost nearly impossible to happen. Just because of the policies that the Japanese government has on companies from their country going over to being bought by an American company or a Western company. So that would almost be it's almost nearly impossible. It's not completely impossible because there's loopholes and stuff like that. There's things that they can do to make it a possibility, but it's like does Xbox really want to jump through all those hoops just to acquire that? It might be a possibility, yeah, And then with Sega as well, but I know you clamor for Sega to come to Xbox. That's almost nearly impossible as well because of the policies of the Japanese market.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance. There is a chance.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take it. I'll take it.
But there's a chance.
I'm
but
rooting
it's a very
for the
small
Giants tonight
chance.
against the 49ers. There's a chance.
As you
okay?
should, because the 49ers are a bunch of babies. So,
Damn.
anyways, the and then they had the acquisition of Valve, right? And I was all like, that would actually make a lot of sense, right? Because Valve, what have they been
crazy?
What have they been doing in these past 15, 20 years? They've been
dominating,
working steadily. This is dominating on PC, right? Yeah. So if they owned Valve, they would dominate the PC market, right? So that's a big move. That's a huge move,
and it's far away from any monopoly either, man. Like that's still
it truly is. I mean, it's in the realm of it could be a monopoly, but it's there's a different. There's people need to understand that monopolies mean that one or two companies own a majority of everything that the industry has, right? So one or two companies have control over it, and that is technically a monopoly, right? Or even just one company owns that market. That's a monopoly. Like, how many companies are not owned by Microsoft or Nintendo or PlayStation? There's a lot. There's a ton that aren't owned by these companies. So it's crazy. And then also, people are, dude, like I said earlier in the show, I said people are blowing it out of proportion. They're making it. I literally saw somebody crying, making it seem like this has already happened. like Microsoft has already owned Nintendo. I'm all like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing out here? What are you doing? I get it. It's for clout. I get that, you're making money off of it. I get that. Like, get your bread, make your money.
Be sure to
do
check
whatever,
out
but
the Mario skin in the next Doom game. Okay.
Could you imagine seeing a little plumber running around and shooting demons and stuff?
Oh my.
I mean, it's a possibility though, right? It could actually happen because of the fact that they have, because Nintendo is getting a really, they're building a relationship with each other. Xbox and Nintendo, they're really trying to build a relationship together, so then they can, kind of work together to bring down the big conglomerate PlayStation, because let's face it, PlayStation's still in number one, right? And then number two is Nintendo, and then third place is
I'm
Xbox.
not even touching those numbers right now because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
That's a whole.
Until I know for
right.
certain what's going on, I'm not even touching that whole thing.
It's definitely closer than everybody thinks. But and that's the thing. Like, these people that I saw so upset about these acquisitions, I was just like, this isn't even happened yet. This is just something. This is an email he sent to his bosses to keep them happy, to keep them motivated in investing in Xbox. like what do you like? I honestly feel like people just saw the email and was just like, immediately went on Twitter or YouTube and was just started bashing, just started talking.
Yeah, they
and
saw
I was just
names. They saw the names and what was being said, and immediately went
exactly.
On there. Real quick, I got to shout out a super chat real quick before it disappears, because unfortunately,
go ahead.
The viewer activity in kind of like my central hub, it's not updating right now, and I don't want to lose it. Because shout out to Stone King X-Men, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much for the support. He says, just showing some love. He's like, I look forward to the next podcast every Thursday night. Keep it going. The super chat works, people. in his Xbox 448 voice. I don't know how many people.
That's a very hard voice to
I don't know.
to pull
I don't
off.
know how high of a voice
Did you get the one earlier today? The first one that came.
Yeah,
in?
I did it.
Yeah, the
I
face
did.
one. Yeah.
I already did that.
You got to sit on your balls in order to really talk like Xbox 448, right? But that's the thing. Like these people are just they're wild, man. You wonder why I'm not on Twitter as much, and you only see me posting certain things on Twitter. This is why, is because they blow it out of proportion, and then they make it seem like it's already happened, or they put something out there, right, without completely having all the facts, right? Like they had no facts at all. They had nothing. They were just saying, "Oh well, Microsoft can't buy Nintendo. Microsoft can't do that. No, Microsoft can't do that." It was
really
just
hard.
like
It'd be really, really hard.
It's
I don't know if that.
It's impossible almost.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I don't think they can. Like I don't. I think the word monopoly would arise in terms of platforms. I really.
Oh,
do.
it would.
I really do.
It would. It would for sure.
It's just
it would.
It's like if we could kind of thing, like dare to dream type situation, man.
Exactly. That's what the email was. It was a dare to dream type of email. Like I've sent emails to my business partner before saying, let's go buy this, go buy that, or whatever, and we never do it. I mean, it's a dream to have. It's a dream to do things like that, but we know already that it probably would never happen. I mean, not going to say, well, I shouldn't say never because, it's a possibility, right? But it's almost nearly impossible to happen. It's almost like 1 in a billion chance of that happening, right? Mm. So it's just, it's crazy. I don't understand why people are getting so upset about this stuff.
Well, speaking of crazy, I would like to transition from you over to our brother K Mega real quick because I don't know, we might have a contrast here when it comes to opinions. Yo, Mega, again, I flipped the script. I know you're on the right page, man. We got these acquisitions going on. What are your thoughts about the emails and what was stated about Nintendo and Valve, sir?
Okay, so there's a misconception out there about that American companies cannot buy Japanese companies.
Yeah, I wanted an update on that. We've been saying that for years.
It's called. Yeah, no, and it's been happening, and there's more. I mean, like for instance, like Sharp. I know this because I had somebody who used to work for Sharp, and then they moved to Taiwan, and Taiwan is not Japanese. You know what I mean? So there is even companies that I think Nissan owns part of some car, Renault. I think that's the
Renault. Yeah, that's French.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like so, like there is it happens. Of course, there's regulators. You have to do this. It's called and I'm now looking at it right now. It's called a hold on, let me hit it again. It's a cross acquisition. Oh, hold on, let me find it again. Okay, it's called yes, I'm looking at it right here. Non-Japanese companies can buy Japanese company. It's called a cross-border acquisition, and it is common occurrences in the global business world. However, the process may be subject to regulatory approval and compliance with laws and regulations in both countries, which means you have to have a company or establishment in Japan in some way, shape, or form. Microsoft has been established in Japan for many, many years. Another factor is that you have to have people that can speak, have the cultural differences and speak the languages. Of course, I just watched the Tokyo Game Show. They got people that can speak their language.
Well,
so
they need to work a little bit on that Japanese.
The woman was Japanese.
She was good. She was good. I'm talking about like Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond.
The other people trying. He was talking about the other people.
They're trying.
Yeah, they were suffering.
They're trying, but
they were suffering. Yeah, they were suffering. Yeah, on Nichiwa, and then after that, it was a train wreck. But again, but that's just been this misconception, and that's one of those things that the stands always bring up and say, not saying that you didn't know or whatever the case may be, because I mean it is a really crazy thing, because like when you go and you search for it, it will say in certain things that you can't. But the reason why it would say you can is because of the compliances that's in Japan. If you already have a foundation in Japan, then you can. Because I mean, hell, go and look it through history. Europe owns a lot of Japan. Matter of fact, they rebuilt America and Europe rebuilt Japan after the war. Anyway, so so I don't even want to hear all that they can't do it. They can do it.
I don't want to hear that nonsense.
But the thing of it is like what Sir X-Man said, and I totally agree with it, is about the regulators. There's no way, shape, in hell that Nintendo deal would ever go through because the regulators would have a field day with that. And also, that company would want to be for sale. Sega would be more into that boat than it would be Nintendo. Nintendo has no reason to sell right now. Their profit margins is great. They're
but Microsoft's friend's working on that though. A friend of Microsoft is working on that.
Of course. But,
you know that's slick, right? You know that's slick.
Yeah. But no. I mean, okay. So I remember when Fred did say this, but I also said this going years back, saying what Microsoft was trying to do. This was back in 2018, where I was saying that Microsoft was playing coy, and they're that soft-spoken snake that is just circling you slowly but surely, and you're not aware of it because you think it's just a dumb, stupid animal that has no idea that it. And then the next thing you know, by the time you really realize it, like, damn, it's getting a little hot in here, man. It's a little tight. Ooh, I can't breathe. Oh shit, you consume.
Like those boa constrictor owners that one day it just turns on them.
One day it's all she wrote, right? Like, and that's. Because we're talking, and we were going back then when Xbox was buying Havoc. They were buying
real quick, I gotta run and get my water
things.
real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, and so they were doing all this, but in the sense of acquisitions, I agree with Pred 100% because Sega, and I know I would love to see Xbox acquire Sega, right? Like, I mean, that's just synonymous to it just makes everything sound complete. But like Pred said, what does Sega offer that Bethesda, that's better than what Bethesda's offering, or ZeniMax, let's say, or what the ABK deal is going to offer, or what any of these other acquisitions that Microsoft picked up? I mean, and I'm not going to say, and you could say this game, that game, the third, and all that, but Sonic is so hit and miss. You can have one Sonic that can do really well, and then you can have 4 other Sonics that don't resonate at all. And then they got to go back to the drawing board. Virtual Fighter would be great for adding to Xbox portfolio as for fighter because they do have a group that's doing a studio that is working on fighters. Of course, the Killer Instinct is going to be being revamped here coming up here next month. But the problem is that will Virtual Fighter be enough? And then for all the other great titles that's out there, Jet Set Radio, yeah, that would be dope. That's a dope Game Pass game. But would that game generate enough revenue for them to look and see that it made sense to buy Sega? Because Sega is not going to be cheap. So that's why I agree with Pred 100%.
I don't think Sega wants to be bought, right, at this point. I think
they're fishing a little. I think they're
probably fishing.
They're
every company's probably fishing
before, but I don't think they're. I mean, and then like the one franchise that I could look at, and I know that they publish for them. I just don't know, and I think they do own them, but I don't know. I need to do more research of that. If somebody else can look that up for us and let us know in the chat or or somebody on the panel, and that is the Warhammer franchise. I believe that I know Sega funds it. They publish for it. They pay the money for the games, but I don't know if they officially own them. I don't know if that dude is that person that officially owns them is independent or just works with Sega. But Sega does have ties with Warhammer.
I know Xbox loves Warhammer.
Warhammer is perfect. Now that would generate a little bit of cash, but it ain't going to generate like ABK or ZeniMax. You see what I'm saying?
Well, they also do Yakuza too. And Yakuza's on Xbox. On Game Pass, yeah.
Right, yeah. And Yakuza's there, but like that's just one franchise. And then you got Persona, of course, that's 2 franchises, but Persona still isn't on that wavelength of what Final Fantasy is when it comes to generating revenue, even though I would argue now that Persona is now finally starting to surpass in popularity Final Fantasy. at this point in time, because if you
kind of obvious right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious right now. The persona is much more popular.
Right now. Seriously.
So, but I mean, but it still doesn't have that weight yet as what Final Fantasy has as a franchise overall. So I'm looking at, so you have to make acquisitions that make sense. Like, that I brought this up many times, and I was talking about Steam. Remember how Gabe was sitting there talking about before the Xbox One generation was over, and then they was talking about the Series X, and he was saying which one was the best. He did that interview, and they was asking him which one was the best console, and he said the Xbox. And everybody's like, "What?" Gabe said Xbox. What's going on here? And that relationship has been stronger and stronger and stronger. And Gabe is not going to do it forever. Now, again, how will that look going forward? It would, what I'm saying, especially in the age of where the regulators is out here trying to go after all different types of corporations to stop these mergers and things like that. I don't know. I know Steam is huge, but in the grand scheme of things of when you look at the internet, it's just a drop in the bucket. Like, what I'm saying, gaming wise, it's massive in the PC space, but in the grand scheme of everything, it's a drop in the bucket. So I don't know. I mean,
because it's not publicly traded, K-Mega.
And see, that's what I was going to say. That's what also the thing I was going to say. I think that there would be some kind of loopholes, and so and thank you for saying that, because I didn't know what the terminology would have been, but that's what my next thing was going to say. But I think that there will be some loopholes to where they can work around it, to where they didn't have to. They could go around the like the CMA and the FTC and all that other stuff. But regardless of that, like I know that Microsoft has got their eye on Steam. They're patiently waiting for Steam. But when you're looking at it overall, what is the bigger and better, or the studios that or publishers or whatever makes more sense? And I will keep continuing to say this: Warner Brothers is still on that list, and it's high on that list.
Got to get the IPs on that though, man. They don't do it without the IP though. That's the biggest thing.
No, I think that they will go ahead and get rid of. So I think that they would just get the whole thing. I think Discovery will go ahead and let some of that go.
Well, I was gonna say, because Warner Brothers, like, it was for sale, but minus the games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think Microsoft was giving them an offer that they can't refuse. But Trump asked them to get into TikTok and try to acquire TikTok, and then those negotiations stalled.
Yeah.
And because they were going to surprise us with the ZeniMax deal, because what they were going to get was Warner Brothers and ZeniMax.
I mean, that was the only thing I saw from what they were saying about selling Warner Brothers, was like they weren't willing to sell the games.
That was afterwards. Because before that they weren't saying that. They were just talking about, they were hemorrhaging, and so they needed, because AT&T was like, bro, we are in trouble here. We gotta cut bait. But then after that, because they started to change after that towards, I think, after the negotiations, and then that's when they had, I forgot what game they had come out and it did well, and then of course they had other games come out and they were doing fine. But a Japanese studio that I think that is perfect and ripe for the go get, and that is Koei Tecmo. I think Koei Tecmo would be perfectly affordable. And it hits all the right notes. It's got perfect games for Game Pass. It has legacy titles that people remember, even if they're younger, like Ninja Gaiden. And then you add to the fighting portfolio with a popular fighter like Dead or Alive. You have plenty. And then, like, for the games I'm talking about for that's perfect for Game Pass, is the Dynasty Warriors saga franchise. I mean, that's perfect for Game Pass. That game would have a further reach. Those Musa games, they're popular. Like, they keep making them. Like, they keep pumping them out like they do Madden and NBA 2K and soccer. But I'm saying, people don't ever talk about them like that. But they constantly sell. Those games have been pumping out forever. And so, and then on top of everything else that Koei Tecmo has, from like Neo and all those games like that, and then also I think Wulong. Like that's made from them. So there's so many there's so many things from within Koei Tecmo that screams, and plus like other classics, if you want to try to throw them in that wouldn't cost a ton of money, that they could be games that could get people's attention when you put them in Game Pass and stuff like that. So I look at that studio, and then of course, last but not least, the one that I'm always going to scream out about next to Warner Brothers is oh my goodness, well, I can't say their name right now. CD Projekt Red.
They
that
dropped
to
an
me is
update
just
today. They dropped an update.
Bro, I know. They think about this. All they need is to add one more IP to their collection, because right now what Cyberpunk was in such a bad space.
Not anymore.
No. It's reinvented itself. You have The Witcher, and then you got Cyberpunk. All they need is one more IP to add to their portfolio, and then they're considered to me as one of the best.
Can you imagine if they can grab like the Stranger Things license, and can you imagine they would have Witcher, they would have Cyberpunk, and they would have Stranger Things? Yeah. That would be insane. Can you imagine CD Projekt Red doing Stranger Things, dude? Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to kind of end it on that, but I seen that here's Jay Slayer coming late to the party. He says the thing is that some companies are protected in Japan, but some reason people think all companies are when they're not. And I just read, you just missed it. Yeah, just read it to you.
Yeah, no, I think he was actually agreeing with you. I think he was right. It was when you were saying it. Yeah.
I thought he was saying, like, yeah.
He's saying, we tuning. We're on the same tune here. We're chimed in.
Damn. Like. I'll just read like, what? I just read it. Like, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So, okay, I need to reread that again. He said, the thing is that some companies are protected in Japan, and some reason people think all companies. Oh, you're right. So sorry, my bad. I thought you was over here.
And I believe you said Warhammer, the developers are owned by Tencent. I believe he said.
Are they owned by Tencent? Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to look that up. But
we're still gonna look it up. But shout out for the info, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Because I knew that there's a guy that has that franchise, right? But I know that they get published by Sega. But I was wondering, like, who else is in there? And you know how Tencent works. Tencent they don't own things fully, but they own enough. So, I think that. Yeah, Microsoft, they got plenty of options out there. There's plenty of stuff out there. Like, I think, Submissive or something like that? I think that's a studio. There's tons of other studios out there that Xbox could try to get. Like SRX, man, I think now, I can't think of studios right now. The Tomb Raider studio, Crystal Dynamics. I think they're right for the picking. I think Embracer Group is going to Embracer Group is going to sit there
either that or Xbox will just collect the developers as they fall off, and they collect them into one of their studios, and there's
always a workaround.
Right. Like that's what I was thinking. I was thinking they're collecting the drops. You know what I'm saying? They're like, that's talent right there. What are you doing? We'll scoop them up real quick. I think that would be a way to do it as well, and they wouldn't have to spend nearly the dough if that's the case. But I think Crystal is on there.
Engine, dude. Crytek in that engine, dude.
I think Crytek.
I don't know how good CryEngine is now, man. You've had
they haven't done anything with it except for that.
I know.
The HUD,
you gotta think processing technology has changed from when
with Microsoft backing them, they'll have the funds to really super improve that engine and make it.
I got you, but you got to think.
Or they can make their own engine.
They have id. They have
like
the
Slip engine.
They have id.
Like Slipspace.
They have the id engine, id Software's engine. They have Slipspace. They have Forza Tech. They have Forza Tech. They have Creation. I think they're pretty straight when it comes to engines, brother. They have a lot to figure out.
Plus they have deals with
you want them to get that Rise IP too.
You just want Rise 2, bro. That's what you're trying to do, man. You like if they buy the engine, then there's no excuse. They can just make the sequel in-house. I know what you're doing, Sir X, man. I see you.
Dude, you have
and unfortunately that would probably never happen.
That's not gonna happen, though.
They wouldn't. Dude, if they bought Crytek, it would be mostly for Crysis, basically.
Yo, if they
Right.
made another Rise,
That's
it would,
what
I'm,
Ripper
I'm,
said
I'm
in
gonna
the,
let you know
chat.
right now. If another Rise gets put into development, it's being made in Unreal. It's not even being made in Crytek. In the Cry
probably
engine.
not.
It's going to be made in Unreal, and with all the resources that they got going with Unreal, and how much memory is saved using like Nanite and stuff like that, they're using Unreal, bro. No way they're using Crytek.
And to be honest, it probably wouldn't even be called Rise or anything like that. It'd probably be called something else, just so then they could get away from the name of
Rise,
of
Son of the
Rise.
East, and it takes place like in like feudal Japan. That would be nasty, yo. That would
Rise,
be nasty.
Son of Xbox. That would be cool. Rise,
That-
son of Xbox.
That would. Oh, I thought you said Xbox. I'd be like, that would be based in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
I would never buy that game.
Oh, but you would play it on Game Pass, bro. Oh, let's go.
No, not if you got your
Let's
name.
go.
That's not gonna
We
happen.
know you
That's not gonna
would.
happen.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about games, man. We're getting into games right now, and from what we saw now, yo, shout out to Destin Legary on YouTube, man. He did break down like the games and kind of like the projects, and you know he was going and he was pulling quotes from developers and stuff like that. So it got me really excited for one big thing that he was talking about, which is the Mandalorian MMO that's supposedly being created by Elder Scrolls Online developers. That it's been in the making for multiple years now. What? Like I heard rumors about a Mandalorian game, okay?
Right.
But dude, and oh my goodness, like that's amazing. I believe that was Project Kestrel. There's Project Platinum, which I don't know what that is. They talk about a licensed game, a licensed IP game, which I believe is separate from the Mandalorian. By the way, I don't believe what Destin said in terms of like linking them together. It didn't look right in terms of like the releasing and stuff that was in the scheduling. So I believe there's another licensed game. Just Dishonored 3. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's go to Dark. Dark. When it comes to the list of games, what did you see that you might want to dig into? Because let's be honest here. Anything's with the projects, like they seem to be further in development. Those are going to come out. We're going to see what those are. Destin said, look, Mandalorian MMO. That seems to be where it's going. I'm excited about that. What did you see? What was your excitement level with what you saw in terms of what they had planned from 2021 going forward?
I mean, that's the thing. I'm not like, I don't get excited for anything that's just being announced. I got to see stuff first. I got to see, gameplay and all that stuff before I'm like, okay, now I'm excited. Like I saw it and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. If that actually happens, if that comes to fruition, then awesome. Like I would prefer a Mandalorian game be more of an RPG than an MMO, but that's just me.
I hear you on that. I definitely, it took me a second to think about the potential, man.
Yeah. I just feel like it would be better in an RPG, setting than a MMO, but to each their own, whatever. I wasn't really like I saw Dishonored 3 and I was just like, oh, okay, cool, new Dishonored. I wasn't really like ecstatic about it because I didn't really enjoy too much of what they did with Dishonored 2. I liked what they did with Dishonored 1, of course, but when they kind of went to 2, it just felt there was just something missing from 2 that I loved about the first one. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't like so ecstatic about any of the games. Really. It was more like cool. Hopefully, we see it kind of situation.
Whoa, is that shade? Are you throwing shade over there? Is that what's going on?
No, not at all. I'm just saying if we see them, because I mean, you know how many times they announce or they put games on a list like that and it doesn't come to fruition, right? Like it's not like the list is. I hear somebody's TV in the background and it's very distracting.
That's mine. Sorry, let me turn it down.
You know, I see certain things like, you know, like that, right, where, you know, you have a list of games that are, you know that are in development or in potential of being developed, and then, you know, we don't see them or hear about them for years down the road, right? So I mean honestly, we could see a Dishonored 3 next year, but I mean, I'm not really going to be like, holy crap, I can't, you know, like I'm not excited for that. I'm more excited to see it once it comes out, or once they start showing it, than actually being excited. A list, right? Like every time they do a list for like PlayStation games that are going to be at the next showcase, I'm not excited for that.
Well,
I want to actually see these games.
You know, Dark, I hear you on that. I hear you, but I believe this list is different than those other lists. I feel like this list.
No, I understand it's different, but I'm not excited for it because I'm not. I know that those games probably do exist and those games are being worked on, but I haven't seen anything from them.
And you just got me more excited for you, by the way, because like the way Xbox is going right now, the direction that they're going, the direction that they're headed full steam, it's like, yeah, you know what, Dishonored 3, not for you, but I can almost guarantee that you're going to get into either Avowed or you're going to get into Hellblade 2. Like
I think Avowed's probably going to be, you know,
that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be that game. Yeah, I think also, but I also think Hellblade's probably gonna be that for that real true.
But like, do you see what I'm saying? They're setting it up to be like we're gonna have something for everyone. You feel what I'm saying? Like you might not be in that,
they are
but
definitely.
Yeah,
they definitely are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I definitely see that. I'm not. You know, I see a list and I'm just like, okay, you know, like it doesn't excite me.
Okay, I got you, bro. I got you. Let's go to Pred here now. Pred. I got another title for you before you. Doom 0 Hour is also another title on this list, dude. What do you think about the list going on here? The projects, the so-called Mandalorian MMO, and can you guess on what I think is the other licensed game might be? It's crazy right now, bro. Crazy.
I don't know, because the other licensed game I'm saying, I really don't know.
Let's go Incredible
I don't think
Hulk.
anybody knows.
Let's go Incredible Hulk.
So like, no. Superman, maybe? I don't fucking know. Like,
E.T.
Yeah, I can't give you that one, but I mean, the Mandalorian. Anything with the Mandalorian is gonna basically sell like hotcakes. I think that's about a year too far out at this point. It's still gonna make money and do its deal, but like, you know, I don't know if are they gonna make another season of The Mandalorian, or are they done with that series? Because the way I watched it, to me, it seemed like they were done.
They got another season coming.
I was gonna say, I think there's another season coming. Yeah. I'm getting hyped up for Loki.
I mean, I love the series. It's like, you know, and I've always fantasized of, like, you know, a Mandalorian with, you know, some aspects of Anthem in there, you know, the flying mechanics of Anthem and so or that or
what Anthem could have been.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Don't get me started.
Oh no!
Or Iron Man or something like that. Like if they those mechanics would have worked great in one of those two franchises, but you'll never know until they announce it. It's just like the leaks in general. Like, I mean, because I didn't talk about this before. Like, how do you let that out? like. How?
Well, it's like how did you use the wrong marker, Sony? You know, as well, like it's throughout this again, the gift that keeps on giving, Pred.
Yeah, it's like it's oh my god, like if this would have been Sony, I don't know if this would have happened. So like, and it's just like how I don't know how do you let that much information, because it seems like this whole fucking court hearing has just been dropping gold nuggets for consumers, for us out there looking for information for generations. It's like, and part of it, when I first saw the leaks, I was like, hey, I knew it was true, but then it was like, who did this? And then I realized who did it. And I was like, well, because their lack of, their stupidity, they're always shooting themselves in the foot, Microsoft. Like, and I'm sure there's more in there that we didn't see that was actually redacted properly, or did they not discuss?
It got caught before it got like immortalized on the web. Like they grabbed
like
it.
Even the FTC should have been like, we've been dealing with this shit for a couple of months now.
Like, are you sure you want to put that up?
Yeah. Are you sure you want us to put this out? Because this is something you would typically redact. And like that conversation obviously never happened. So even the shit that I do, if I do some stupid shit like that, like someone's like, hey, did you mean to put this in there? I'm like, oh shit, my bad.
Dude, they had color graphics and everything.
Yeah, there's a QC process in that, and they're like, oh, are you sure you want to put this out there? I'm like, oh fuck, maybe we should just redact. Like someone has to look at that shit when you send it. Like somebody somewhere, it's like it came from like Steve, the guy in like engineering that didn't know, like, oh, can you forward this to them real quick? Yeah, I got you. And he just sent it, didn't fucking look at it, or like someone. So again, I don't know who said it. I think it was K-Mega. Someone's getting fired.
They already gone. But like, they're already gone, bro. They're gone.
Yeah, they probably been gone. But like, I'm just, yeah, and you know what's true, because Microsoft typically will come out and say, we don't discuss rumors or whatever the fuck term they use. They came out with a statement after that, and they're like, fuck.
It's like the plans have evolved from that, and I think they did. I really do think they have evolved, but I think at the core there is some structure there.
They evolved that fucking much. Trust me, they're not changing games. Like these games are coming. We saw the stuff they were talking about is definitely coming.
Yeah,
but like, controllers, all that shit's gonna happen. And they got ahead of it because, again, Microsoft would typically come out with a statement that says, we don't, discuss rumors or, blah, blah, blah. They came out and said, this is not the way we want shit to get. Like, that's how you know it was truthful. Everything was legit because they came out and said something about it and got in front of it ahead of time. So at least we know what's coming. They come out the way we specifically wanted it to, but we know what games are coming and to some degree when they're coming. It's like their whole portfolio for the next couple of years have been kind of just thrown out there, and all that does benefit Sony. And so, and if it wasn't for the fact that Microsoft did it on accident, I would legit see a lawsuit coming to the FTC.
Yeah.
But they can't because they're the dumbasses that did it. So, you can't be mad about it but yourself, And so now they got to scramble. Or just, like I said, they get ahead of it and start, here's some shit that we weren't going to show for another year and a half. You can have it now at the Game Awards, Since you already know about it, here's what we're working on, and they can turn a negative into a positive by just saying, hey, here's what we got, But all that does to us now is, as much as I tout wanting to see shit early, there's already shit that I have not seen yet that I don't know about, and this shit is too early. It's gonna fuck like the.
I think the scheduling is about because of the pandemic and everything like that. I think we're looking at like a 2-year delay or so within everything. So
yeah,
that would put
a lot.
Indiana Jones next year, then though.
That's not gonna happen. I still think they're a year off from that. What their planned date is and what is going to happen. I look at when I see these leaks or I see like these rumors, even with some stuff coming from Sony and other places, like what we see and what actually happens. There's things that happen in between there where it's like it's development stuff or personnel issues or like fucking pandemic issues and stuff like that. Like always interfere with that. And so whatever date they initially give me, I've gotten to the point now I just bump it out a year. I just don't believe it. When they give it to me, like, oh, coming summer of 2024. Like, nah, bitch, that's just coming spring of 2025. I just got myself
a buffer, a little.
Yeah, because there's going to be some hangups and stuff like that, or something's going to happen with the production process of it and stuff like that. So I always knock it out another year or so, another 6 to 8 months. But, the leaks that we saw, like, again, I mentioned this earlier, I'm not surprised by any of them. Like the Steam thing, like if I was in business, that's what I would do. I would go after Steam. I would go after Nintendo. I would think they're right pickings. Even if it's just a dream, you still throw that nugget out there. Like, hey, are you interested in me purchase? It's like sports. You see people on the waiver wire or in the trade block, and you throw your shot, and see what sticks. And if they'd have came back with an offer, like let's say Steam would have came back, yeah, you can buy us for fucking $40 billion. Microsoft might have taken that option if that was within their budget, what they wanted to spend money on. If they thought it was worth the issue, but worth the money, they might have done it. And like I said, Microsoft doesn't buy the shit we want them to buy. They're not going to buy a Crytek. They're going to go out and buy a Moshup. And it's like we weren't expecting it. Like I didn't know the companies they purchased recently were on the market. WB's been on the market for a while. They didn't purchase them. They purchased some shit we weren't expecting, and that's how Microsoft typically works. They're working behind the scenes to buy things that we're not expecting them to buy. They're not trying to buy the ones that we're expecting, and they've always done that. And that's been the deal with them for years. And I can't say any of the acquisitions they've ever done in the past 10 years were ones I expected. And I don't think there were ones that anybody expected. I mean, that's insiders saying the same fucking thing. Like, they're like, I wasn't expecting this to happen. Neither were we, and it's like, the ones we were like, oh, you should go out and buy Crytek. And I've said this too. I've literally said that to myself. Or Crytek or Sega. They should buy this. They should buy Capcom. They're not buying those companies. They've never bought the companies we expect them to buy. They always buy the ones that are like that we don't know about, and that's how they've been able to be successful.
Lately, they've been buying like publishers so big that we didn't even think it was possible at first. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
we when they bought companies, we're like, who?
Oh,
what?
Wow, yeah.
Okay, bet. Let's go. Let's fucking go. And it's like, and then we were like, they should buy Capcom. They don't want Capcom. If they want, they're the bottom.
They go after Activision instead. Like, yeah. It's like, oh damn. But yeah,
like surprise me. They're gonna surprise with some shit like EA. We buy EA this weekend. I'm like, that would be a surprise. Capcom with like EA or not EA, Capcom or fucking Sega. If they brought one of them, it wouldn't surprise me because they're right for the picking at this point. But like they go after somebody like EA. That would surprise me. I'd be like, "Oh shit!" Oh,
then you'd be like, "Damn, they crazy."
That's a big publisher, yeah. Like that would surprise.
Yo, fill on that sauce right now, bro.
That's what they do, though. That's what they typically do. They buy the shit that we're not expecting to buy. So, I'm not looking to see them. I mean, if they do, they do. But like, but what we see in all these documents, stuff like that, like, yeah, there's probably discussions. Like I think one of y'all said it before. Yeah, they're going to talk to their bosses about some things, like. Because maybe bringing it up, you don't know unless you ask. And you're like, what we should do? We should buy Nintendo. And now the other guy on the other end of the email is like, Ty is like, you're right. We should. Like, and when he sent the email, he probably was like not thinking he would be like, oh, you're right, we should. But now when he said, if you throw that in his ear and he starts listening to you and you start pitching to them well enough after saying it, they might go with it. And that's probably what they did. Like the end goal is Nintendo. And they're like, wow, that's right. That would be a good purchase.
Got a better shot at getting Embracer Group.
They better want them though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's all about you can't just say buy them. You have to look at their financials. Like buying a company, you're buying all of the company. You're buying their not only what they have, you're buying their bullshit too. So if they got they're cooking books, you gotta deal with that shit. They got disgruntled employees, they got shit in the back of the that we're not
Negative shit
seeing
popping,
financially.
man. Negative
They've
shit
invested in some things that we don't know about that's going to cost them money. Microsoft has to deal with that when they buy them. So, like, when they start looking at their financials,
All that division with all the problems.
yeah, but they had IPs and a shit ton of them.
I mean, Bracer got it.
Do you know how many IPs and Bracer got? Just a ridiculous amount of IPs, dude.
Well, how many are going to be successful if Microsoft buys them?
Now, Pred, you got to remember with Sir X-Man, the success is different than what you think, man. You know what I'm saying?
He's looking at older stuff that he's enjoyed in the past, and I'm looking at shit that they're bringing in the future. And I look long term. Like, okay, yeah, that's great. They have some great IPs in the past, but knowing the purchases they've made, Microsoft has done in the past. In the past, what? Think about what they bought recently, and how many IPs have they regenerated? And brought back to like hardly any.
None. Yeah.
So like that's not their goal, isn't to go out and buy these companies to have them refurbish these old IPs. Like they want to, it's not about what they had, it's what they're going to bring forward. So like when they bought, ZeniMax, they saw Starfield, they saw Elder Scrolls, they saw shit like that. It's going to make them money and get their money back. When they saw Mojang, they saw Minecraft and the amount of money it was generating. Like Sega
almost
isn't
instant
doing
money
that.
back with
Mojang, bam, they spent it $10 million, they got that shit back in like a couple of years. Like they want that kind of revenue coming back to them immediately. They don't have to wait fucking 6-7 years for that money to come back. So Sega, maybe they'll make their money back in a couple of years, but again, you have to look at their future IPs because they're not looking just at what they had. They want to see what the future goal is, like what their future profit's going to be, what other games they have coming in the pipeline that we've not heard about before. It's not always about what we know, it's about what we don't know. So, yeah, we knew about Starfield. We know how big it was going to be. So, like, yeah, you buy that game, you market it well, you're going to make your money back off that game. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Sega has hiding back there in the woodworks. I don't know what Embracer Group has hiding in the woodwork. So picking up those franchises is not going to be, picking up those companies with dead franchises isn't going to benefit them because now they have to build a studio. They have to, they have to remarket it again. They have to get these kids don't know these games. They don't know let's talk about Altered Beast. They don't know that game. These kids have never seen Altered Beast in their fucking life.
All right, get off the Altered Beast hate, all right, brother? All right, you talk too much shit about Altered Beast tonight, man. I don't know.
But that's what y'all bring up to me. Like, oh, bring these old franchises back, and like the generation that we're in right now, these 20-year-old kids have no fucking idea what those games are.
I completely agree with Brad.
So they're not. They don't give a fuck. They're like Altered Beast. What the fuck is that? When they bring it back, it's for us. Our fucking 35-plus-year-old gamers that played those games before. These kids are like,
I'm not taking the bait, man. Like the entire time you've been saying that, like I have an argument against it, but I'm not taking it right now.
Take it because you know what?
No.
How did Battletoads do?
We have to get through this because this is pretty much.
How did Battletoads do?
Huh? Battletoads is great. What are you talking about?
I know it's for you, but. Who else played that shit?
He's getting so angry he's starting to bot, yo. That's crazy.
Yeah, he is starting to bot. But...
You don't want to hear what I gotta say. Is what you're trying to tell me.
No,
you're fucking.
You're botting.
Yo, people in the chat, yo, let him know if he's botting or not. All right, let it happen, man.
I know, I believe you. I'm done. You can move on to whoever else next.
Let's see, Sir X-Man. We're talking games now. We're talking Doom 0 Hour plus DLC. We're talking Project Kestrel.
I just want to see what Indiana Jones looks like. That's all.
That's nice. I'm down too. I'm down to check it out, man. Because if playing the old one on the old Xbox, I can imagine what the newer looking Indiana Jones game would look like, yo. I'm definitely down to check that out, man. But cool. K Mega.
Yeah.
Dude, games. And this list is yo, I'm excited, bro. What are your thoughts on the list here? Again, I know stuff has been delayed, pandemic, stuff like that, but I do think a lot of these are on track. Dude, a Mandalorian MMO, another Doom, so much, man. What do you think, man? What's popping?
Yeah, no, I mean it's really interesting. I would like to know what Project Platinum is, Project Wanderer, Project the Ebu. Like, I mean, like this is nuts. Another thing to me though is that I found surprising with this, and like he was alluding to earlier about was basically he was talking about like this because Dark said he's not excited about the list because he wants to hear about the games or whatever. Now this is different from than just some Yahoo talking about a fantasy list that they want to see.
Insiders.
Right. Yeah. This is court document stuff.
This is inside. This is actually inside.
This is inside. Right. So and so like we've already heard about the rumors about they were going to do some remasters, but they're taking it back to like doing an Oblivion remaster, and then they're doing the Fallout 3 remaster. That's pretty solid. I mean, the Indiana Jones, it does look like it's going to be something that probably is going to come out in 2020, 2025. It will most likely get announced at one of these events next year, because I don't think that it's going to come out next year. That would be crazy. That would be one hell of a crazy year because you're going to have Hellblade, you're going to have Stalker 2, then you would have the potential, you're going to have the Val, and then you're going to have potentially Indiana Jones as well. That would be stupid.
Dude, you got to think the Activision deal as well. Like, you got the Call of Duty stuff, other IPs.
Right. Yeah.
They are on a roll right now, brother. They are killing it.
That was going to be the next thing that I was going to say. Regardless of whatever you think about the games that are listed here, and let's say that you don't care about any of them, you can't say Xbox doesn't have games.
You can't deny. You can't deny.
More. There is no denying.
Not even you, Dark Lord Aloo.
Xbox has no games.
Yeah, nah, bro. No. Because, I mean, even on this list, there's still games that isn't listed. You know what I mean? That we know that's going to be coming out at least next year or for a couple years. I mean, or the games that we just seen that they were talking about at the Xbox showcase in June. This is incredible stuff. Like, I mean, and the way that they drop those Doom games, like I could see there being a announcement for Doom and maybe being possibly an end of the year title. You see what I'm saying? So, like
0 Hour. I'm thinking like what Mortal Kombat did with Mortal Kombat 1.
It's a prequel, or like it's
well, Destin tried to say something like it might be a prequel because of the name 0 Hour, but I didn't see the end of like all the DLCs when it came to like Doom Eternal. So I don't know how far it went, if he like erased everything and it's like starting over. You know what I'm saying? Like
it could.
It's interesting to me, bro. Oh.
Now, what's pretty fascinating too on this is that we know that Starfield is going to have some DLC coming out next year, and that's going to be sweet. But this license IP. Oh yeah, it's gonna be real sweet. It's gonna be real sweet because once I get off the podcast with you Yahoos, that's exactly where I'm going. Is right back into.
Have you been living in Starfield, man? I have a feeling you've been living in there, man.
I've been sort of kind of living in there. I mean, I have to give Mortal Kombat its work.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
fighting games.
Yeah, and then I've been also playing another game called the First Descent because it's in its beta, and I actually caught myself playing that. All night last night. I'm really enjoying it. Got a Destiny, Dynasty, and Division 2, and also a War. What is that game? Warframe vibe. That game has all of that kind of mixed into it. It's pretty damn cool. But
hold on.
It's just
came back real quick. Yeah. I gotta address. Portal Player is in the chat.
Yeah.
He's saying that these leaks are going to be a bad thing for sales because people aren't going to buy the Series X until the refresh comes out. But the refresh, my friend, is discless.
It's discless.
So that's
Yeah,
it's
that
really
doesn't make any
not
sense.
it's really not going to cut down sales at all. People will be like, well, if anything, it might actually boost the sales of the Series X, knowing that this is the one with the disc in it.
No, people are just gonna buy the Series S. That's
Well, that
I mean,
too.
like-
That's been the backbone, bro. That's been the backbone.
Yeah. Well, see, also, and that's been debunked, just kind of like with the numbers stuff that's been out that I've been having a good time watching stands lose their damn mind over. But regardless of whatever, that I'm, there ain't no need to really get too deep in that. We'll get into that tomorrow, unless you're trying to. But we're gonna get tomorrow deep in that into GRG tomorrow. But I'm looking at this.
Yeah,
What?
you know, one of your favorite games is coming to Game Pass, man. Gotham Knights.
Oh well, I got Gotham Knights on Xbox and on PC. So I mean, yeah, no, I'm happy about that. Yeah, no, it's gonna be October's gonna be sweet. But I just look at this whole situation and how it is, and with these games, that's the thing to me that makes me just smile just even brighter, because these games are something we were not prepared for, and these games could be potentially like maybe shadow dropped, something like, because I mean, a Fallout 3 remaster, does it really needs to have a huge announcement, or it just needs to be like on Xbox's direct show in January, and they talk about that, and they talk about Oblivion remaster, and those games are coming out next year. You see what I'm saying? Like, those could be some good, sweet games to drop on top of everything else that Xbox is going to drop. It just shows overall, like I said, that Xbox is that narrative is dead. It is long gone. Because I mean, again, there's Everwild, there's Perfect Dark, there's just so many other games that's unknown, that we only know so much about. And then the games that we just seen from this year, from Fable and to like Sonoa, I'm hyped. I'm really hyped about everything. I'm really hyped about it.
Nice, man. Yeah, that to me was the biggest thing that was shown. It was the thing that like I wanted to see the most, but I was also the most like, man, do I really want to see like what's being said? But at the end of the day, I don't know what any of these look like. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the projects. Again, that's all speculation. Nothing has been announced yet, but I am leaning more towards that Mandalorian. Like seeing the developer in an interview talking about the 200 people and the project he's working on and stuff like that. Like it just all kind of like fits together, which it's got me excited, man. I could just see like making your own like crew of Mandalorians, like galaxy to galaxy. All sorts of missions and stuff, because Elder Scrolls Online, it has a community that has been going crazy for years in that game, so they know how to make that game with that content to keep going. And Mandalorian, that's the environment I would jump into, man. So I'm excited for that.
Right. And there's somebody in the chat that's asking this question, because I mean, it really sounds really crazy. That are they going to phase out the Series X? The Series X, the original Series X with the disc. No, they're not going to phase it.
Well, I thought they phase out the 1 terabyte, maybe just making it a 2 terabyte. I mean, I don't see them phasing it out, but that would be a good idea.
No.
That would be a good idea. Just make a standard 2 terabyte.
They're going to drop the price of the X and let the new system be the top tier because of the 2 terabytes.
Right.
That's what.
Right.
Okay,
right.
I could. Yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, I feel like that's a small thing to come out when it comes to Xbox and their plans and what they think is important to their company. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily all about like, selling that hardware. If you're playing on the Series S that you have now, you're playing on the Series X, you're playing on your PC, you're streaming on your phone. As long as you're playing the games on on Xbox, that's what they care about. At the end of the day, I don't think that's as big of a deal as kind of like the other stuff that we were talking about tonight. So,
Don't forget all the games that they sell on Steam too. They're making money.
Oh yeah, well, you guys are trying to bait me into talking about numbers. I know you are, yo. But on that note, before they do that, guys, I think it's about that time. It is time to wind down. I gotta catch Jujutsu Kaisen with my son, and then I gotta go to sleep because it is my work weekend. Yo, shout out to the chat. You guys have been absolutely insane. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It has been an amazing week when it comes to gaming news. And guys, I have a feeling it's just going to get crazier. Like, I never thought we'd be talking about this tonight, that this was going to be going on this week. Who knows what happens next week? But, just like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. Let's start with Predator. Pred, what you got for us, man?
Nothing, man. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. See y'all tomorrow or next week. So, go Cowboys.
Parsons, when his contract's up, he's coming to New York. I just want to let you know that. All right, next on the list, let's get to the senior gamer himself, man. The dare I say veteran, because it might be past his bedtime, man. I don't know. Unless he took his nap this afternoon. But it is Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man. Dude, what you got for an outro, brother?
Let's go. I got to play some Starfield.
Nice. I like it. Hey, let's get to Optimus. Dark Optimus, man. What is going on with you? What do you want to tell the people?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And you guys can find me podcast and every Friday on GRG.
Yeah, and speaking of GRG, Mr. K Mega, we do have a show going on tomorrow, right? What's going on there? What's going on? Are you fighting on Sundays again, like normally? What's popping, man?
Yeah, no. I'm Fight Night returns Sunday. I mean,
you know how many times I heard that phrase, man? What's going on? Is it good?
I did Fight Night the week before I went on vacation. So yeah, I did Fight Night 2 weeks in a row. But I didn't do Fight Night this cast because I just came from vacation. So.
Yo, Dark, how come it feels like he has these responses like scripted already? Like he has the paper on it. He's like, I know he's gonna say this, and I got the rebuttal right here written.
No. There's too much hotness going on.
I don't know. I don't know if he's got anything written. He went off on somebody in the chat, with their super chat. He almost pulled a GRG last week with that person.
Here we go. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll do GRG the sober edition tomorrow, and so all is safe. You know what I'm saying? And then all I needed to know is that Sel said she was coming back. So hopefully we'll see if she comes back tomorrow. Or later on in the following weeks or so, but we definitely going to have a good show. Like I said, the sober edition will be all right. So I'm ready to do it. But Dark, remember this.
I've got news for you. You're mine now. You belong to me.
Yes. So anyway,
what's funny about he says he's gonna be sober. He's going to be a sober podcast tomorrow. Well, last week he said, "Oh yeah, it's a sober podcast." But every time he hold up his drink, we'd be like, "I don't know, man. It's getting lower and lower, bro."
He was unwinding from his vacation.
I was still in vacation mode. Yeah. That was. They at the end of the show, they were asking me, man, show us that Crown Black bottle. And it was the chunk that was taken out. Yeah, I was a little bit out.
He's like, I've been sipping on this root beer for 3 hours. I'm like, bullshit.
First, and then it turned into Crown Black.
In case you didn't know, who's pre-downloading on Forza? Because I'm doing it now. And you get to play it 5 days.
Yo, that Forza
is
about 2 weeks away. Looking so good, yo. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
You guys have fun with that niche title.
And in this podcast, we're looking good right now too.
Yeah, and in this podcast, and
if there's an award,
not talking about some niche title that no one cares about.
If there's an award for best looking game, that game would definitely win this year, hands down. But anyway,
Too bad there's not an award for that, but okay.
Oh,
All right, people. Yo,
Oh,
everybody.
your game does not even make the awards, Dark.
Oh my goodness. Everybody have a great night, yo. We're out. We'll see you next Thursday for the next podcast.
Later.
Yo.
Oh, we're finally doing this, are we? Because I was going to make a sandwich.